In your remodel, you have an option typically to do, if you have a kitchen large enough to accommodate this, a double oven or something like this, which would be an oven microwave combination. And the trend, I mean, most people don't typically need a double oven or care about having a double oven. There are people that really like to bake and love having double ovens, and they use both ovens frequently. There are people that use them occasionally when they have a dinner party and they need a second oven, but most people are leaning more towards a traditional single convection oven and then a microwave that will supplement. And in most instances, they know enough to know that they want to have convection in that microwave. And when you start looking, there are some options that are like a countertop microwave with a built-in trim kit. But most of these newer options are, at least in the US market, called speed ovens. Now, I think in the rest of the world, they're called combi oven microwaves because they're, combination of an oven and a microwave. Miele, as an example, uses the term combi microwave in Europe and maybe the rest of the world, and here in the US market, probably because of the success of GE's Advantium ovens that they've had in the Profile, Monogram, and then later the Cafe lines. This is probably one of the most recent speed ovens to hit the market. And it's been a while now. It's probably been like 5 or 6 years or more. This is a convection oven microwave, I believe, that comes from Sharp. Now, a lot of those speed ovens are using the term speed because they'll have a feature where you will be using radiant heat along with the microwave or the magnetron. Now, in the case of the Advantium GE speed oven, there's a product that has about 180 different recipes or pre-programmed foods that will cook predominantly with radiant heat and convection with a little bit of microwave. Most of the other manufacturers will have maybe like 10 or so pre-programmed speed options, like you can speed cook brownies or pizza or a couple other of those common things that you might cook. So this is probably an example of that. Now, from a pricing standpoint, I believe the Wolf is actually one of the lower priced quote unquote speed ovens in the market, which is good. I mean, I think they understand that this is not something that competes with an Advantium, or at least a 240 volt Advantium or a Miele speed oven. So it kind of knows its place in the market, which a lot of manufacturers these days have issues with. But you'll see no browning element on the roof, no browning element on the floor, and then the only browning element will actually be that little convection fan. Now, keep in mind, these things are not self-clean ovens. They are microwaves that have heating elements, and the real way to consider these things work is it's going to look at it like a toaster oven. Toaster ovens have radiant heat. The primary function of a lot of these speed ovens is going to be that you're going to use it as a microwave predominantly. You may start to experiment with the convection heaters and start using it like you might use a toaster oven. So I didn't grow up with a toaster oven. Like, we were poor. We had a small kitchen. We had just the normal 2-slice toaster. I think wealthy people had toaster ovens in my mind, because you had to have a big kitchen to be able to have one of those on your countertop. But they were great, right? You could put bagels with some melted cheese and pizza sauce and some pepperoni and make little pizzas. You could reheat things crispy, like leftover pizza, as an example. I don't know why I'm on this pizza trend. But among one of the better options is going to be Miele. So the Miele is more like a little mini oven in that it's going to have, look at the top, you'll see a Calrod broiler or a browning element there, and then you're going to have another browner or a baking element below the floor, which is relatively unique. Most of the manufacturers don't have a bake function, and then of course you're also going to have what the Wolf and pretty much everybody else has, which is a fan with a heater in there as well. This is also going to be one of the few options with an inverter microwave. So the rest of them, for the most part, will, when you set that oven at the microwave rather, at 50% power, it's going to be on 100% of the time, just for 100% power rather for 50% of the time. I said that backwards. So your high wattage microwaves are great for beverages, but they're not so great for food. Technically, you want like 600, maybe 800 watts for just reheating food. So a lot of people will come in and it's like, I want a 1300 watt microwave. I need the higher wattages. Why do these speed ovens have low wattages? It's because low wattage microwaves are better for food. And you could probably argue that, and I've read up on it, and I've always felt that lower wattage microwaves were better, and I had better cooking performance for reheating food in low wattage microwaves. What's great with this inverter technology is that inverter technology means that at 50%, you're basically reducing the power level by 50%. Now, in a 1,000 watt microwave, does that mean it's running at 500 watts? I don't know, but I'm kind of thinking that that's the logic behind the design. If so, being able to vary the wattage of your microwave based on what you're reheating is kind of slick, and that's actually a Panasonic technology. So anybody who has an inverter, magnetron, it's my understanding they're licensing that from Panasonic at the moment, unless the patent ran out. I don't know. But anyhow, so Miele has admitted to licensing that magnetron from Panasonic and having that inverter technology, which is fantastic. At the higher end of the spectrum, there is this microwave. They have variations like you see here with the touchscreen interface. They also have variations with these more basic kind of sensor-based controls. And then they also do versions that are just regular microwaves, also with that inverter technology. And then of course they're designed to match the various styles of Miele ovens. Now, like most of these speed ovens, they are designed around this 60 centimeter footprint. So this is a very common size, 60 centimeters tall, 60 centimeters wide. Supplemental ovens like the steam oven and the speed oven, or the combi steam and the combi microwave ovens, are 60 centimeters wide and about 45 centimeters tall. So 24 by 18-ish, or 23 and 5/8 by 17 and 5/8. So in the US market, we have much larger appetites, and of course we have these these larger ovens, these 30-inch ovens. So in order for that to be aesthetically uniform, most companies have done what you're seeing here and what we saw in that Wolf, and that's to take that 60 centimeter product and add little 3.5-inch fillers on both sides, and then stretch out the door and the controls so that you have a very uniform look. It looks really slick when you add that warming drawer. Terrible place to put a warming drawer. Put a warming drawer up so you can use it. They're fantastic, even though they are like insanely overpriced. So Wolf, probably one of my least favorite. Miele, one of my most favorites. And of course, Monogram, one of my most favorite speed ovens. So the Monogram, actually, you can get this speed oven also in the profile, currently not with that touchscreen or that TFT interface. And you can also get it in the cafe line for a little less money. For me, aesthetically, I love the crisp, kind of clean Miele-like lines, or Wolf-like lines in that more modern Statement series. I also really like these little brass inlays. Now, as far as speed ovens go, this is kind of the king of speed ovens. It's been around the longest, as far as I'm aware. I mean, I think there are like KitchenAid, Whirlpool, JennAir. They have a version. I know in watching the movie. What was that movie called? Castaway. They actually pictured a Superba oven microwave combo, and I don't know if that was convection all the way back then or if it was just a regular microwave. But anyhow, this is a real deal speed oven. There's a speed cook menu option. You've got a ton of things that they've programmed in here. Here's chicken nuggets for the kids. Chicken nuggets. Love me some chicken nuggets for the kids. There we go. Next. So the upper heater is at 50%, the lower heater is at 100%, the magnetron or the microwave is at 30%, the convection heater is at 100%, and they programmed that for about 5 minutes and 30 seconds, which is fantastic for those frozen nuggets to come out. Now that is telling you to use this this non-stick turntable. So they give you a glass turntable with this. In this 240 volt version, they also give you a ribbed variation of this, kind of a grilling pan, and they give you this baking rack. Now the baking rack is predominantly going to be used for the convection mode or for multi-level microwave cooking for whoever does that. And what's kind of neat with this one is that it holds a 9x13 casserole dish. So not only can I do a full half sheet on this rack, I can do a 9x13 here and a second 9x13 there, and it is also one of the best microwaves. Now, it does not have that inverter technology, as somebody recently pointed out on my on one of my posts. So it is just probably a 1,000-watt microwave that will cycle on and off. I've been using these microwaves for years. I love them. I think they're fantastic. And I feel like, something that is more kind of in the middle, where the Miele is more oven centric with some microwave features. This one is a phenomenal microwave and a phenomenal speed oven. For regular baking, for somebody that wants to use it kind of more like a Miele, where they want to have something that's just a little mini oven, it's going to have pretty much that convection mode only. There is a toast function, there's a warm function. The broil function, I've used that a few times and didn't find that it worked that great. It might be okay for a bagel possibly, but I don't know. I wouldn't buy it for its oven mode. If you're looking for something that's really going to supplement your primary oven, so like a friend of mine that I've worked with for over 24 years, he and his wife bought the oven microwave warming drawer combo with a large range to supplement, and he said because it was just him and his wife, they cooked in that little Miele speed oven all the time. They used that more than anything else. They said they used it like 99% of the time, just because it made sense for the types of meals that they cook, which is why you should always consider, getting one of those smaller European ovens to supplement your range if you are considering a second oven. We really don't need to heat up all of this cavity, for just day-to-day cooking. We've talked about that before in those double oven ranges, how that little oven on top just makes more sense. So yeah, get a small oven or consider a speed oven. And like I said, there are JennAir and KitchenAid versions of these convection oven microwaves as well. They have a more basic version with this smaller TFT display, and then they make a premium version in their higher end model that has a larger TFT display. Now the microwave is going to be pretty much the same. You're going to see that that Miele style broiling element on the roof, basically a turntable, so nothing below, and then of course you're going to have a convection heater in the back. And then this actually gives you this kind of ribbed shelf. There's actually a baking sheet that comes in here, which is kind of nice. Again, here's something that's been around for a long time. I don't sell as many of these, but I would say, from a speed oven standpoint, I would definitely purchase this over a Wolf speed oven or a Thermador or Bosch speed oven. And of course, you can also get these in the KitchenAid line as well. So one thing to consider when you are shopping these speed ovens is, don't even bother looking at the oven. Focus on this. Get that in your list of like, I'm gonna lock this down, this is the one that I want, and then just get the matching oven. You can see here that this is actually a unified. This is set up like a double oven where you've got a single console. The advantage here is that you're gonna get power run to that, and it's gonna feed both. And ordinarily you might have just one little, 10-inch drawer below the oven and the microwave in that Miele format. Here you could actually get two. Now, if you lose that control panel, you've essentially lost both your microwave and your oven. And it's possible that if you needed to service the microwave, which may, these days, need service before the oven, that you're probably going to be paying for more work or higher labor cost because they're going to have to pull out a double oven instead of just that microwave by itself. So you can buy these separate from JennAir and KitchenAid. I always suggest that you consider buying them separately and having separate openings and separate electric lines so they can be serviced independently. But there are advantages to having them together. An example of that is this Thermador setup here. Now, Thermador, interestingly enough, just like their parent company Bosch and the Bosch line, you can find something very similar. This is actually two separate units. When this comes shipped, the microwave is in a box, the wall oven is in a box, and then there's a sleeve that basically keeps those two boxes kind of together during shipment. So when you open it up, you've got to unbox the two pieces independently. There's a little like a track system that you install on top of the oven, and then the microwave kind of slides into that track system, and then the cord from the microwave is actually going to get plugged in to the oven, and then that will feed both of them. So really kind of a slick system. The downside to this one is that you go to a lot of websites and look at reviews, and for whatever reason, these Bosch Thermador speed ovens do not seem to get very favorable reviews. And I can't remember if it was like something to do with the display, or I don't know if it was reliability or what the deal was. They are, a little bit taller than some of their competition, but you can see they're also a little bit more narrow. So the other ones had these fillers here and here. This one you can see there's filler, and then there's actually these little louvered vents on either side of it. So kind of a narrower compartment. Neat point to note, you've got that browning element or the broiling element on the roof. Below the turntable, there's another one of those cal rod elements, and then you've also got a third heater in the back. They come with this rack that is reversible. So in the up position, you're kind of raised up closer to that broiler for, well, probably broiling. And then if you turn it upside down, that rack is going to sit a little bit lower for traditional baking. I don't love the interface on these ovens. The controls, kind of wash out on you. I don't know if you can see that. I mean, it's difficult to see. So here I am, like right in front of it. Everything is nice and crisp and clean and easy to see. The controls are a little bit buggy, but not bad. And this is, I don't know, this has been on display in our showroom in like 5 or 6 years, probably 5 years. There's probably been updates since we put this out. But you do tend to find people complaining about that. And again, as I'm standing over it, it's completely washed out. So, using the microwave, probably not that much of a problem because you're going to be looking at it dead on. The oven, in order to see those controls, I really have to do, kind of stoop over and play with it. You'll hear similar things on the Bosch. The Bosch is, in this case, this is just a regular microwave. They do have the identical speed oven available in this line. And you can see kind of a very light display here. Let's see, what can I do with this thing? Yeah, okay, maybe it's locked out. This older LED display here, I think you get something very similar in the KitchenAid line. It's pretty dated. Everybody else is doing TFTs, and I know some people are afraid of TFTs, but the problem with this design is that once this is discontinued, it's specific to that one model of product. 10 years from now, when you're looking for parts, or 10 years after it's been discontinued, you're looking for parts, it's not a common TFT display that's used in a whole bunch of different products like you're seeing in JennAir and GE and Miele and whoever else. It's going to be specific to that one product, and probably at some point going to be not available for replacement. So the Bosch, if you are going to do the Bosch, I would suggest to look at the the benchmark. The benchmark's not a huge upgrade in price, but you get a really nice full color display. The styling on these isn't my favorite, and that's probably because it's been around for a very long time. I'm hoping at some point Bosch will update. But like Miele, you do have the option in the Bosch to do these kind of really nice flush installations very easily. Same thing in the Wolf line, the Thermador line. Lines like GE's Monogram, JennAir, you'll see a lot of that flush installation done in the displays, but the face of those ovens is actually quite thick. So you got to do a little more work than something like this or the Miele or the Wolf, where the oven is actually only like, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch in the profile. So it's very easy to flush these out, especially in full overlay or frameless cabinets. So that is it. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. If you like this video, if you're in the industry and you want to learn more about the appliance industry from somebody who's been doing this for almost a quarter of a century, go ahead and hit subscribe, and I'll try to make more videos. And anything that you guys are interested in, please, again, leave in the comments below, and I'll do my best to crank out more videos. I'll see you next time.